Hey lovely yogi, I hope you are well. I am Amy if you haven't practiced with me before. This video is following lots of requests for 90-minute long videos and videos filled with arm balances, so that's what you're getting today. If you have not already subscribed to my channel and you do enjoy this class, I would be really grateful if you could take a second to subscribe so that you can practice with me again in the future. You can also give this video a big thumbs up. It lets me know that you enjoyed it and that I should make more like it. And I absolutely love receiving comments on my videos, letting me know what you thought, letting me know how it went, letting me know any requests, anything. I'm loving reading your comments. So enough chit chat from me. We will begin in a Mukasana today. Mukasana at the top of the mat. And if this is a shape which is not that comfortable for you, you can grab a block and pop it underneath your bum to give you a little bit of extra support. In our Mukasana, let's bring our hands to our heart, or you can have them down on the mat for a bit of extra support. If they are at your heart, press the elbows and the knees towards one another, finding that dynamic opposition. Surrendering the shoulders down towards the earth as you lift the chest and the crown of the head up towards the sky. Bringing the awareness into the soles of the feet, connecting into the earth, grounding you into this moment. Now we've got 90 minutes to get through, so we don't need to start throwing ourselves into crow poses and handstands straight away. We'll get ourselves nice and warmed up, moving into the present moment slowly and gently. Whatever you were doing before this practice, whatever you've got lined up after this practice, just trying to set it to one side and coming into the here and the now. Bringing your awareness to any sensations in the body. Maybe you're feeling it in the hips and the legs. Maybe there's some tension in the neck, the jaw, the face. Anywhere that's drawing your attention, just let it drift between all those different places. Not being attached to one particular thing. Any parts of the body that maybe you need to give some extra care and attention to during the practice. Maybe you're working with an injury or just any places that are feeling a bit stuck and a bit tight. Now start to bring your awareness to your breath. I will invite you to breathe in and out through the nose throughout the practice if that feels comfortable. Trying to make the inhales and the exhales roughly similar in length. Trying to send that breath deep down into the belly, inflating it, not being ashamed to let your belly fill up with every inhale, and finding a slight engagement, pushing all of the air out on every exhale. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. Your hips might be calling your name right now. They might be feeling a lot of sensations. Just stick with it for a few extra moments. Finally, check in with your mindset. How are you approaching this practice? With lots of challenging arm balances, there might be lots of places where you fall, where you don't achieve that picture perfect Instagram shape, which really doesn't matter whatsoever. Can you bring an attitude of playfulness, of fun, of not taking things seriously, of laughing at yourself when you fall out of things? Remembering that there is so much more to yoga than just the shapes that we make with our bodies. As you're ready, start to bring a little bit of movement into your Mukasana if you haven't already. You can bring the fingertips down to the mat, maybe start to dip one knee at a time towards the earth, maybe lifting the heels. Maybe bring some movement into the upper body, wiggling the shoulders from side to side, moving the shoulders around in circles. Maybe you find some movement in the head and the neck. You don't have to look like I look. You might be making completely different shapes from me right now, just tapping into the movement that your body needs. As you are ready, come back to your Mukasana. On your next breath in, sweep the right hand down towards the earth, the left arm up towards the sky, opening through the chest here, reaching up as if you're trying to grab your favourite piece of fruit with that left hand. Either stay here or find the bind around that right leg, maybe reaching for the fingers, the wrists, the forearms. Deep breath into that left side body, deep breath out. Unravel yourself back through centre, take a moment here, and then breathe in, take it over to the other side. Pressing that left arm into that left knee or the left thigh to get even more of an opening. Staying here or taking it into the bind. Using the pull of that left hand to really open the right chest and the right shoulder. Unravel yourself back through centre, take a little break from your Mukasana, sit your bum down, bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees drop out wide, like a bakasana but with a greater distance between your groin and your heels so they're not super close. Bring the right hand out in front of you, start to press each finger back towards the right arm with the left hand, maybe give that wrist a little shake, turn the palm to face towards the sky, bring the left hand onto the right fingertips and then press the right hand down towards the earth, push that wrist forwards, warming up through the wrist. And release, give it another little shake, take it over to the other side, pressing the left thumb and all the fingers back. Give that hand a little shake and then bring the left palm up to the sky, right hand onto the left fingertips and then push that hand towards the front of the mat. Super important, we're going to spend a lot of time warming up our wrists for this practice. Release that left hand, give those hands another little wiggle. Once again, plant the feet into your Mukasana position. Can you get back up to Mukasana without using the hands? Maybe you can, maybe you can't, doesn't matter either way. Plant the hands on the earth, start to lift the hips up towards the sky, heel toe the feet so they're in line with the hips, and start to bring some movement into your Uttanasana, maybe bending and straightening one leg at a time, maybe grabbing hold of opposite elbows and swaying from side to side for a ragdoll. You can have a deep bend in the knees here if that feels good. If you've got the elbows clasped, release them. Inhale, press the hands into the shins, draw the chest forward, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, release, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Just flowing here. Deep breath in, lift the chest. Deep breath out, lower the chest back down. One more time, inhaling. Exhaling, release down into your fold. Start to lift the toes off the mat and slide the hands underneath the feet, bringing the toes onto the wrist creases. And while you're here, you can wiggle the toes, giving your wrists a little massage here. I remember when I first started yoga, I was like, oh, I don't want to touch my feet with my hands, but I feel like once you've done yoga enough, you start to not care about these things. Have a little moment here, maybe shifting the weight backwards and forwards. And release. Give those wrists a little wiggle. Once again, inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. 2 more. Deep breath in to lift. Deep breath out to lower. One more time. Inhale, fill those lungs. Exhale, empty those lungs. Now inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms all the way up overhead. Tadasana, straighten those legs. Exhale, bring the hands down by your sides. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, send the left arm forward and the right arm back, taking a twist. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, over to the other side, trying to keep the hips squared towards the front of the mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, over to the right. Deep breath in, back through center. Deep breath out, over to the left. One more time, fill those lungs, reach the arms high. Empty the lungs, take it over to the right. This time, start to slide the right hand down the back of the right leg. Reach the left arm up and over towards the back of the mat, coming into a twisty, heart-opening, side-bending situation. Another deep breath in and breath out. Inhale, sweep both arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, twist over to the left, slide the left arm down the back of the left leg, reach the right arm up and over. Take a full deep breath in and a full deep breath out. Inhale, sweep both arms all the way back up to the sky. Exhale, descend back down into your fold. Plant the left hand underneath the face, bend the left knee, sweep the right arm all the way up to the sky. Either stay here or hook the right hand around for the left hip or for the left inner thigh, using that grip to help draw yourself deeper into the twist. Let your gaze fall wherever is comfortable. Unwind that right arm up to the sky and then place it back down. Bend the right leg, sweep the left arm up to the sky, stay here or find the bind. Inhale, unwind the left arm. Exhale, plant the left hand on the earth, drop the right knee down, drop the left knee down. Tabletop position. Shoulders over elbows, over wrists, hips over knees. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, round the spine. Fill those lungs, shine the heart forwards, open the chest and empty the lungs. Press the floor away, create that rainbow with the spine. Inhaling, cow pose. Exhaling, cat pose, and keep the movement going, but maybe find some free movement here, maybe taking it into the hips, maybe dropping the belly all the way down towards the earth, like you're moving around the inside of a barrel, going in any direction. There's no right or wrong. Maybe take it all the way back into a child's pose and all the way forwards into an upward facing dog. Getting out all those little niggles, any spots of tightness or tension. As you're ready, come back through center, find your neutral tabletop alignment. Wrist creases are facing towards the front of the mat. Start to rock your weight backwards and forwards, bringing the weight into the wrists. keeping all 10 fingers planted into the earth. Turn the hands to face outwards, the wrist creases face in towards one another. Start to rock the weight from left to right. Turn the fingers to face towards you, wrists facing the front of the mat. Rock the weight forwards and backwards once again. Keeping the heels of the hands grounded into the earth. Now bring the fingertips to face forwards. Once again, sit back on the heels, give the hands a little shimmy shake out. And then come back to your tabletop. This time, bring the backs of the hands onto the floor, wrists once again facing the front of the mat. Ground down through all 10 fingertips and once again, rock the weight forwards and backwards. Just taking it to the edge of the stretch in your body. Turn the fingers to face one another, backs of the hands still on the floor. Rock from left to right very, very gently. Release, plant both hands back on the floor, all 10 fingers facing forward. Keep the fingertips and the thumbs grounded, but lift the heels of the hands off the mat. Drop them back down, lift them back up, and just keep on going like this, lifting the heels of the hands up and down. Bit of forearm activation for us here. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once again, sit yourself back, take the weight out of the hands, give them a little wiggle, maybe interlace the fingers and move the hands around in circles, going in both directions. Maybe take them in some funky little waves, maybe press the hands away from you and up overhead, just finding what feels good. Now everyone, if you've not got the fingers, interlace them, release the index fingers, point the arms up overhead and start to move that pointer around in circles. Going in one direction, really opening up through the shoulders, through the spine here. Switch directions. Like you're drawing a big circle in the air above you, or like you're lassoing a rope of some sort. And release. Bring the hands back to the earth, keep the hips over the knees, start to walk the hands off the top edge of the mat, sink the chest down. Puppy pose or heart melting pose, hastasana. Keep the right arm just as it is, start to slide the left hand back towards you, coming down onto the left forearm. You might find that this intensifies the stretch even more in that right arm. Extend the left arm straight out ahead, start to slide the right arm further in towards you, rooting down through the right hand, the right elbow, drawing that left armpit down towards the earth. And then slide both hands underneath both shoulders, tuck under the toes, lift the knees, plank pose. Shoulders over elbows, over wrists. Once again, bringing some fire into the wrists. Come up onto the right fingertips, up onto the left, down right, down left. Up onto the left, up onto the right, down left, down right. One more each way, up right, up left, down right, down left, up left, up right, down left, down right. Start to rock the weight backwards and forwards. Start to move the weight around in circles. Now, only if it feels okay and fully supported on your wrists, turn the fingertips to face the outside edges of the mat, wrists face towards one another, and then rock the weight very, very gently from side to side. Now maybe, only if it feels okay, listen to your body, turn the fingertips to face towards you, wrist creases facing the front of the mat, maybe very gently rocking forwards and backwards, This is a lot of strength in the wrists. Turn the hands to face back towards the front of the mat. Drop the knees down for a moment. Now, I really want you to listen to your body for this next part. Bring the backs of the hands onto the earth, fingertips facing towards you. Maybe this feels like enough for you. Maybe it felt like a lot when we were doing it in our tabletop. Maybe you experiment with lifting one knee off, if that feels okay. Maybe you experiment with lifting the other knee off, pressing the floor away with the hands. You might be shaking and feeling your core and your upper body on fire. Holding, and then drop those knees back down. Lift off the hands. Once again, give them a little wiggle, maybe a little flick, giving the wrists a break for just a moment. Move into the middle of the mat if you're not already. Toes are tucked under, knees ground down, lift the hips, start to lean the upper body back, reach the arms forward, so it's a hands-free camel pose. Now listen carefully, start to drop the heels down onto the mat, lift the knees, extend the legs straight out in front of you, lower the body down into a low boat pose, bring the feet back to the mat, drop the knees, lift the heels, lift the hips, lean back into your hands-free camel. Keep it flowing like this. You might need to go slow the first few times, then we'll get the hang of it. Dropping the heels, lifting the knees, extending the legs, extending the arms, low boat. Draw the knees back in, plant the feet, drop the knees, lift the heels, lift the hips, lean the body back, hands-free camel. Lift yourself back up, tuck the toes, drop the feet, extend the legs, low boat, knees back in, plant the feet, lift the heels, drop the knees, lift the hips, lean back, hands-free camel. Let's do a few more. Tuck the toes, drop the heels, lift the knees, extend the legs, low boat, draw the knees in, plant the feet, lift the heels, drop the knees, lift the hips, lean the body back. One more time. Drop the bum to the heels, drop the heels, lift the knees, extend the body out into your low boat and hold your low boat for just a moment. But you don't know how long a moment is. Connecting to our core, super important for all the arm balances we're going to do. Come up to a high boat, tapping the hands to the heels, lower back down for a low boat. Bring it back in. Lower it back down. One more time. Back in. Now lower down. Bring the hands to heart center. Tap the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Lower back down. Other side. Lower back down. One more each side. Hold. Squeeze. Lower back down. Last time on the other side. Hold. Squeeze. Lower back down. Reach those arms forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees into the chest. Start to rock yourself forwards and backwards. Maybe building up a bit of momentum to jump yourself through into a chaturanga. When you land in your chaturanga, hold it. Press back up to a high plank. Lower back to your chaturanga. Press back up for 2. Number 3. Press back up, 2 more, drop the knees if you wish. Number 4, press back up to plank, lower back down. Number 5, press back up to plank. This time wave through your chaturanga, inhaling upward facing dog, exhaling downward facing dog. Have a little moment, first downward facing dog of the practice, feeling into the body. Maybe wiggling the hips from side to side. Maybe bending and straightening one leg at a time. Maybe finding some movement in the chest and the shoulders, the head and the neck. Reconnecting to your breath if you lost it. One more deep breath here. Getting ready to fly. On your next breath in, sweep the right leg all the way up to the sky, open the hip, bend the knee, draw the heel in towards the glute, start to take some big circles with that right knee. Notice if you're collapsing into the left shoulder, try and keep the weight evenly distributed. Switch direction of the circles. As you're ready, inhale, sweep the right leg high. Exhale, right knee to the right elbow. Inhale, sweep it high. Exhale, take it over to the left elbow. Inhale, sweep it high. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Hook that right knee on the back of that right arm. Tuck the left elbow underneath the left hip. Fly the left leg off the mat for our Headless Pose. Option to straighten that right leg straight out to the side. Holding, holding, holding. Can you drop the left toes back down onto the mat? Send that right leg back to a three-legged plank, straightening the elbows. Lower yourself down, three-legged chaturanga. Inhale, three-legged upward facing dog. Exhale, three-legged downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. One more time. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Squeeze everything in. Step that foot through in between the hands. On your next breath in, sweep the arms all the way up to the sky. Bring the hands into fists. Start to take some circles with the wrists. Going in one direction, then the other. Now start to take some circles with the arms, sweeping them up, behind, around. Giving the hands and the shoulders a little break and a little bit of love. Can you stay nice and bent into that front leg? Inhale, sweep both arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, twist, open to the right hand side. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, twist. One more time. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, twist. Now bring the arms up overhead as you breathe in. Bring them to the heart as you breathe out. Put all the weight onto that right leg. Launch yourself into a warrior three. Hands can be at heart center or reaching straight ahead for an extra challenge. Inhale here. Exhale, draw the elbows into the ribs. Draw the knee in towards the chest. Inhale, extend. Exhale, squeeze everything in. One more time. Inhale, extend. Exhale, squeeze everything in. Now inhale, reach the arms forward. Start to hinge at the hips. Lower the chest down towards that right thigh. Bring the hands onto the earth. Sweep the left toes all the way up to the sky. Come up onto the fingertips. Inhale, reach that left leg high. Exhale, tap the left toes up to the left wrist. Inhale, sweep the left toes high. Exhale, tap them in. One more time. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, tap, hold, squeeze. Can you draw those toes just a few millimeters, even higher up that arm? And now sweep that leg back up, ground down through the hands and take 5 kicks up to handstand on this side. Maybe you get it and you hold it the first time. Maybe it takes 5 attempts and you never get there. That's absolutely fine. We're just trying. For me, this is number 3. Oh, I've kicked the wall. If you have got a wall, you're welcome to go over and give that a try. 2 more for me. If you've done your 5, you are welcome to chill out in a forward fold. If you're in your handstand, can you land from your handstand into a chaturanga? Deep breath in, upward facing dog. Deep breath out, downward facing dog. Bring the big toes to touch, bring the knees wide, drop yourself down for a little moment in child's pose. Have a little wiggle around. Swaying the hips and the shoulders from side to side. Ground down through the hands, snake yourself forward, drop the thighs down, drop the hips down into a high Cobra pose. Press the floor away with the hands, draw the shoulders down towards the earth. Look over the right shoulder, back towards the right toes. Come back through centre. Look over the left shoulder, back towards the left toes. Come back through centre. Tuck under the toes, lift yourself back up to a plank pose. Wave the body back, downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, sweep the left toes all the way up to the sky. Open the hip, bend the knee. Start to take those big circles and bring your awareness to your upper body. Notice if you're collapsing into one side. Switch direction of those circles with the knee. As you're ready, inhale, sweep the leg high. Exhale, over to the left elbow. Inhale, take it high. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale, take it high. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Hook it onto the upper arm. Shimmy that right elbow into the right hip. Fly the right leg. Straighten the left leg if you have the space. Headless pose. Koudinyasana. And we hold and we breathe. Can you drop the right toes down? Can you straighten the elbows and send the left leg back to a three-legged plank? Can you work through a three-legged chaturanga, a three-legged up dog, and a three-legged down dog? Take another deep breath in here. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, sweep it high. Exhale, round everything in. One more time. Inhale, sweep it high. Exhale, knee to nose, squeeze, 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 and then step that foot through. Take a big deep breath in as you sweep the arms all the way up to the sky. And a deep breath out to settle into your crescent lunge. Bring the hands into fists, start to take those circles. Start to take some circles with the arms. Using this moment to catch your breath. If you lost it, reconnect to it. On your next breath in, sweep the arms up. On your next breath out, twist to the left. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, twist to the left. One more time. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, arms open up to the side. Now inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Put all your weight onto that left leg. Launch yourself into a warrior three. Right leg is parallel to the earth. Right foot is flexed. Maybe reach the arms forward for an extra challenge. And then if they're extended, draw the elbows in, draw the knee in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw everything in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, squeeze everything in. One more time. Inhale, extend. Exhale, squeeze everything in. Now extend the arms forward. Lower the left chest, lower the chest down towards the left leg. Bring the hands onto the earth, standing split, using the strength of that right leg to take it even higher up towards the sky. Come up onto the fingertips. Inhale here. Exhale, tap the right toes to the right wrist. Inhale, sweep them high. Exhale, tap them in. One more time. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, tap, hold. Draw those toes maybe a few centimetres higher. Inhale, sweep them high, ground down through the hands and take 5 kicks up to handstand on this side. And if you catch the balance, then I definitely encourage you to hold on to it. I've got 2 more. You can be wherever you need to be. Pause me if you want to. Wait for us in a forward fold if you want to. Whoop. Can you land from your handstand into a chaturanga? Take a deep breath in, upward facing dog, and a deep breath out, downward facing dog. Bring those toes to touch, bring the knees wide. Take a little moment in your child's pose. Maybe grab a sip of water if you would like. Let the breath settle, let the mind settle, let the body settle before we move on to what we've got lined up next. Lots of fun still in store. Start to walk the hands back towards the body. Keep the knees wide, tuck under the toes, heels coming towards one another. So we're in a funky, wide-legged squat. I'll turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Toes touching each other. Heels can touch or not. The knees are wide. Inhale, sweep both arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, bring the right hand onto the right thigh. Reach the left arm up and over, finding a little side bend. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, take the side bend over to the other side. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bring the left hand onto the outside of the right leg. Maybe the right hand hooks around for the left thigh or the left hip. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, twist over to the other side. Just giving our arms and our wrists a little break here and finding a little bit of fire in the lower body. Unwind yourself, sweep both arms up. If you're not facing the top of the mat, then turn to face it now. Keep the knees wide, bring the forearms down onto the mat, ground down through the fingertips. Bring the knees really, really high up into the armpits, and then can you hook them onto the very, very back of the arms? Can you start to shift the weight into the arms and lift the toes off the mat, bring the toes together for a little baby bakasana. Teeny weeny baby crow pose can actually be harder than the real thing because you're so compressed and squished in. Take lots, how many is lots? A few deep breaths here in your baby crow. Press the floor away from you, squeeze those legs in. Keep the arms planted, release the toes, step the legs out so you're in a forearm plank. Keep the elbows rooted down. What else would you do? Keep the arms as they are. Lower the chest down towards the earth. Press the upper back towards the sky. Lower the chest down. Press the floor away. So we're just using the scapula, the shoulder blades, to move ourselves up and down, not moving the arms. Lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, hold here, dip the left hip down towards the earth, come back through centre, dip the right hip towards the earth, come back through centre, left hip down, centre, right hip down, centre, one more each side, dip it down, come back, dip it down, come back. Start to walk the feet in towards the hands for Dolphin. Pressing through the shoulders, pressing through the elbows. Either stay here or start to sweep the left toes up to the sky, come up onto the right tiptoes, and then maybe you start to lift the right toes off the mat as well, coming into your pinchamayurasana. Taking 5 kicks up on each leg. If you prefer the version where you interlace the hands, then feel free to do that. If you prefer to have the hands flat on the floor, then feel free to do that and make it work for you. Taking a little moment to breathe in between each attempt. Or maybe you're up there holding your pincha. If you're still on the same side, then switch sides, give the other side a whirl. This is obviously the side that I find more difficult. And bring yourself back down, landing in a dolphin, unwinding the fingers if you had them pressing together. And then lift the elbows up off the mat, downward facing dog. Start to walk the hands in towards the feet, grab hold of opposite elbows, have a little moment in your ragdoll. Inhale, add Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, round. One more time. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Bring the big toes to touch, little bit of space between the heels. Bend into the knees so much that you can graze the floor with your fingertips. Then sweep the arms all the way up to the sky, chair pose. Sinking down into the hips. Notice if you're really booty popping like this, can you find a little bit of length through the lower back? One nice long line from the crown of the head to the tip of the tailbone. Inhale, reach those fingertips even further away from you. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Hook the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Twisted chair. Notice if one knee is creeping further forward or backward. Now keeping the twist to the right, bring both hands down onto the earth. Keep that right knee hooking on the back of the right elbow. Bring the right hip to the back of the right elbow. Start to lift the feet, lift the legs off the earth. Option to straighten both legs, sending the right toes to the front of the mat, the left toes to the back of the mat in our revolved Headless Pose. Can you bring both legs back in towards one another, and then maybe without coming down in between, can you lift the right hip off the right elbow? Woo, coming into a side crow. Totally welcome to come down for a little break in between, and then without putting the right hip on the back of the right elbow, just glue those knees onto the back of the left arm, lift yourself up, side crow. Maybe play around with straightening the legs. Woo. And then bring yourself back down. Come back through centre, have a little moment, just balancing on the toes maybe. Have a little chance for the breath to settle. And then drop the heels, straighten the legs, Uttanasana for just a moment, then once again, bend into the knees, sweep the arms high, soften those shoulders low. Inhale, exhale, hands to heart center, twist over to the other side, using the dynamic opposition between the right elbow and the left knee to deepen yourself into the twist. Now, keeping the upper body twisted to the left, start to bring the hands down onto the earth. Left knee is glued above the right elbow and the left hip is glued above the left elbow. Ground into the earth, start to hover the feet off the mat, maybe straighten the legs in opposite directions. Holding and breathing. If you've got the legs extended, maybe bring them back together, and maybe without coming down in between, you can lift the left hip off the left elbow. I cannot. So maybe you come down in between, and then without having the left hip on the left elbow, you just squeeze those knees onto the back of the right arm and lift yourself off for your side crow. Maybe play around with the legs. Have a little moment of playtime and then come back through centre. I don't know about you guys, but I am sweating. Good job I wore my very skimpy clothing today. Well, I wore it because it's easier to get grip in arm balances when you've got more skin out, but it does help when you get very, very hot as well. Let's just take a moment, drop those knees, give the hands a little shimmy, shimmy, shake out. Maybe give the arms a little wiggle. Maybe take the arms in circles, whatever feels good to release whatever just happened before we move on for even more fun. Bring the heels onto the earth, descend into your forward fold, bend the knees, sweep the arms high, Utkatasana, and start to straighten the legs, draw the right knee up and into the chest as you come up to standing. Cross the right ankle over the top of the left knee, bring the hands to heart centre, start to sink yourself down, bringing the right elbow onto the right knee, the left elbow onto the right ankle or the sole of the right foot for our standing pigeon. I'm just going to turn to the side so that you can see what I'm doing. Either stay here or start to walk the hands over to the left, bringing the hands down onto the earth, bending into the right knee, bending into the left knee. Bring the sole of the right foot onto the back of the right arm, just above the elbow. Start to put your weight on it. Start to lift the left leg off the mat and extend it straight out to the side, over to the right. Grasshopper pose. Super fun. Can you bring that left foot back to centre? Can you keep the right ankle crossed over the left knee as you unwind and sit yourself down on the mat for a seated pigeon pose? Fingertips pressing into the earth, pointing towards the back of the mat. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, lift the hips, press the floor away for a figure four reverse table. Exhale, lower them back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower back down. Uncross that right leg. Lower yourself down into a low boat. Hold for a few moments. And you don't know how many moments a few moments are. Breathing. Really engaging the core, really drawing that lower back down towards the earth. And lower yourself down, hug the knees into the chest, start to rock yourself backwards and forwards. Build up the momentum to rock yourself up into a chair pose. And then inhale, straighten the legs. This time draw the left knee up and in towards the chest. Cross the left ankle over the top of the right knee. Hands come to heart centre. Sink yourself down, standing pigeon. Let the breath settle, let the mind settle. Find that focus zone. Start to bring both hands to the earth, over to the right hand side. Hook the sole of the left foot on the back of that left arm. Start to shoot the right leg out to the left. Grasshopper pose. Bring that foot back through centre. Keep the left ankle crossing over the top of the right knee. Sit yourself down for a seated pigeon pose. On your next breath in, lift the hips, press the chest up towards the sky. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Unwind the legs, lower yourself down into your low boat pose. Breathing here, really strengthening our core, which will help us in all of our arm balances. And then lower down onto your back. Give those legs a squeeze. Once again, rocking back and forth, building up the momentum to come into what will be our last chair pose. Sweep the arms up, sink the hips high. Can you go lower than you've ever gone before? Let's pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, straighten those legs, reach the arms high. Exhale, bring the hands down by your side. Give the hips a little wiggle, give the shoulders a little wiggle, give everything a little wiggle, letting everything go. Turn to face the long edge of your mat. Doesn't matter which way you turn, whichever way is easier for you to see the screen. Take a big step out wide. Turn the toes in slightly, turn the heels out slightly. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold down, Prasarita Konasana. Give those hips a little wiggle from side to side. Bring the left hand down underneath your face. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. Maybe hook the right hand around for the left inner thigh. For a half bound Prasarita Konasana. Let the gaze fall wherever feels comfortable on your neck. Now, option here is to take the full bind, threading the left arm underneath the left leg, bringing the right hand to meet it. Trying to keep the shoulders away from the ears, not totally collapsing and rounding down. If you've got the bind, unwind, bring the right hand down, sweep the left arm up, maybe hook the left hand around for the left inner thigh. And then maybe you thread the right arm under the right leg, grab hold of it with the left. Unwind yourself, bring both forearms down onto the mat now. Option to interlace the fingers or to keep them flat on the floor. Start to rock the weight forward into the toes, lifting the heels off the mat, and then maybe, just maybe, you can lift the feet off the mat and fly yourself up into a forearm stand for just a moment. And then maybe you straddle them back down. That was definitely not my finest pincha press, but doesn't matter. We don't have to be perfect. We just have to give it a try and have fun and laugh at ourselves when it doesn't go right. Turn the toes out, turn the heels in, start to slide yourself down into an Upavista Konasana. Maybe you slid down very elegantly, maybe not. Bringing those legs wide. Your legs don't have to look like mine. Your legs might be in a much more narrow V. That is totally okay. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, sweep the right arm up and over towards the left foot. Bring the left hand towards the right thigh. Taking a little side stretch. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, take it over to the other side. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, start to hinge down, but don't come all the way. Bring yourself to hover. Lift yourself back up. Hinge down, so your nose is just hovering a few centimetres off the mat. Lift yourself back up, finding some strength in the hips. Lower, hover, hold, squeeze, and then lift yourself back up. Plant the feet on the earth, kind of like you're in a Mukasana. Lift the hips off the mat. Plant the hands underneath the hips, tucking the upper arms underneath the thighs, and then maybe start to fly the legs off the mat, tittibasana. Maybe you lift one foot at a time, maybe you lift both feet at once. Maybe the legs are really bent, maybe the legs are coming towards straight. Maybe the elbows are slightly bent, maybe the elbows are straight. Just play around, make it work for you. If you are flying, maybe play around with hooking one foot in front of the other. If you've got the hook, maybe unwind, find the other side. Maybe you can come back to extended legs. And then sit yourself down. Maybe elegantly, maybe not. Mine was definitely not elegant. Back in your Upavista Konasana. Bring the left foot in towards the groin. Extend the right leg straight out in front of you. So kind of like a Janu Sirsasana. And then plant the right foot on the earth. Start to shimmy the right arm underneath the right leg. Grab hold of the outside edge of the right foot with the left hand. Start to straighten that right leg up towards the sky for compass pose. Bringing the head underneath that left arm, gazing to the left. And then unwind, but keep the right leg hooked over the top of the right shoulder. Bring it as high as you can. Let go of the foot. Extend the left leg straight out in front now. Ground down through both hands. Lift the hips off the earth, maybe for balanced elephant. If you've got your balanced elephant, maybe cross the left ankle over the top of the right. Shoot the legs straight out to the right. Bend the elbows. Bring the head to face towards the earth. Straighten those legs as much as you can. Astavakrasa, crooked in 8 places. Maybe come back through centre, sit yourself back down. Give those hands a little wiggle, a little shake out, like you'll be very used to doing now. And going for the other side, extend the right leg out straight, left foot to the sole of the left foot to the right inner thigh, and then plant that foot on the earth. Start to shimmy the left arm underneath the left leg, bring the right hand to the outside edge of the left foot, and then start to straighten that left leg up towards the sky. And then come back through centre, hook that left leg super high up the back of the left arm, plant both hands on the earth, straighten the right leg if it's not already, start to lift the hips off the earth, balanced elephant. Hold here or cross the right ankle over the top of the left, shoot the legs straight out to the left hand side, astavakrasa, crooked in 8 places, straightening those legs. Unwind, come back through centre, sit yourself back down, have a moment in just a cross-legged seat, take a few deep breaths. Reconnecting to the breath, letting everything settle. Keep the right knee bent in, bring the left knee to stack on top of the right, heels come in towards the opposite hips. Go Mukasana, cow face pose. There might be a big gap between the knees, that's absolutely fine. You could put a block or a cushion or a pillow, anything in between that gap. Bring the, let me turn so you can see, coming into our cow face arms, bring the right arm up and over, the left arm behind, maybe finding the clasp, maybe grabbing the piece of clothing that you're wearing. You could also grab hold of the top of the left elbow, of the right elbow with the left hand. Make it work for you. Pull that left elbow down, pull that right elbow up. Take a deep breath in, find even more length through the spine, and as you breathe out, start to tip yourself slightly over to the left hand side, finding a side stretch. Unwind the arms, give them a little shake. Unwind the arms, inhale, reach them up. Exhale, bring the right hand onto the left knee, bring the left hand out behind, maybe grabbing hold of the left foot with the left hand. Unwind, keep the left leg as it is, extend the right leg straight out towards the top of the mat, right foot is flexed back towards the face. Inhale, sweep the arms up, exhale, start to hinge forward, folding down over the legs for a half go Mukasana, half Paschimottanasana, getting into the hips, the hamstrings, feeling good, winding things down, chilling out. Start to press yourself back upright, keep the legs as they are for just an extra moment, and we'll take those same stretches for the fingers and the wrists as we did at the start. So pressing all 5 fingers on the right hand backwards, stretching through the wrist, pressing the fingertips down, pressing that wrist forwards. This time let's take that right arm across the body, draw it in towards the chest using the left arm, hoping that I'm not crushing my microphone here. And release the arm. To make our way into the other side cow face, we've got a lot of options. You could bring that right leg back in underneath you, bring the hands over to the right hand side, keep the feet where they are, lift the hips, swivel towards the back of the mat, swivel all the way around, drop yourself back into cow face on the other side with the right leg on top. Or if it's in your practice, you could come via a tripod headstand, planting the hands on the mat, planting the head, lifting up, uncrossing the legs in the air, recrossing them, and then coming back down. If that is in your practice, please do it, but I will not be demoing it, so if you are not familiar with that, then please do not try it. This time we've got the right knee stacking on top of the left. We bring the left arm up and over, the right arm behind. Maybe we find the clasp, maybe we don't. Maybe we bring the right hand onto the top of the left elbow. Notice if you're really flaring your body forward like this, try and keep the spine nice and upright in a nice straight line. Pulling that right hand down, pulling that left arm up. Maybe play around with the location of that left elbow to find the deepest stretch. Take another big breath in, lengthen the spine even higher up to the sky, and breathe out. Take a little side bend over to the right hand side. Likely not going to be much of a movement, just feeling into that little stretch. Unwind those arms, give them a wiggle, give them a shake, maybe have a little twisty moment before we inhale to reach the arms up. Exhale, bring the left hand onto the right knee, maybe the right hand comes behind and grabs hold of that right foot. Unwind back through centre, keep the right leg as it is, extend the left leg out long, inhale, reach both arms up, exhale, fold down over the legs, keeping the left toes nice and active. Draw yourself back up as you draw a big deep breath in. Keep the legs as they are as we stretch the left fingertips back. And then take the stretch into the left wrist. Release, draw the left arm across the body, squeeze it in. And release, give the arms one last little wiggle, unwind the legs, plant both feet on the earth, maybe shimmy your bum closer in towards the heels, reach both arms straight out in front of you, and then slowly lower down onto your back. See if I can get there before you, going so slow. You still hovering? Still hovering? Still hovering? And release. When you get there, hug the knees into the chest, give them a nice big squeeze. Apanasana, knees to chest. Keep the right knee hugging into the chest. Extend the left leg out long. Move that right knee from side to side, drawing it up and in towards the right armpit. Taking it across, around, up and down, whatever feels good. And then take that right knee across the body over to the left. Maybe lift the hips, drop them slightly further over to the right, and then soften down into the twist. Maybe lift the chest, swivel the shoulders over towards the right, and then soften them back down. You might find that helps you increase the amount of contact from the upper back with the mat. Ideally rooting both shoulders down into the earth. If you've got a favourite twist variation, you are very welcome to take that now. Unwind back through centre, reset the hips, give that leg one last squeeze and extend it out long. Draw the left knee into the chest, give it a little squeeze, give it a little wiggle, a little shimmy, a little shake. I was going to say a little shimmy, shake, wakey, bake, but we're definitely not getting wakey, bakey in this class. I'm guessing that probably none of you will have any clue what I'm talking about right now. As you're ready, start to guide that left knee over to the other side. Maybe lift and shift the hips over to the left slightly. Maybe lift the chest, shimmy the shoulders over to the left. Maybe take any other variation of a twist that is calling to you. Unwind, hug the left knee in, bring the right knee to meet it, reset the hips. One final big squeeze, maybe draw the forehead up and in towards the knees, maybe give the knees a little kiss. Saying thank you, knees, for letting me do this yoga class. Any other movements that are calling to you, any final little wiggles, shimmy, shakes. Maybe a happy baby, maybe a Upavista Konasana, whatever you fancy, before making your way into whatever shape you would like to make for your final relaxation. You can be in the traditional Shavasana shape, you could be in a constructive rest with the feet on the outside edges of the mat and the knees falling in. You could be in a Upavista Konasana, you could even be on your side, on your belly. Whatever position will enable you to feel the most relaxed. And you have definitely earned a nice long Shavasana today. Even if you haven't done a super fiery long yoga practice, you still deserve a nice long Shavasana. You might be very tempted to jump up and pause the video now and think, yep, my yoga is done. But no, the Shavasana is the most important part of our practice. If we're not doing Shavasana, it could be argued that we're not really doing yoga, we're just doing a movement class. Yoga is about the union of mind, body and spirit, and in our Shavasana, that is where that happens. When we move through a fun practice like that, it's really just preparing our bodies so that they can be still. It's preparing our mind so that they can be still. So please join me in a few moments of stillness, letting all the benefits of your practice sink in, letting them distribute throughout every cell of your being. Maybe like we did at the start of the practice, you take a little body scan, noticing any areas that are still maybe feeling a bit tight or tense or achy, anywhere that needs your love and your attention. Maybe you can send your attention there and just feel the earth supporting you. Let those places of tension dissolve into the earth. Bring your awareness to your breath. Is it soft and smooth and slow? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's still settling after our practice. At the start, like we did at the start, can you try and equalize the length of the inhales and the exhales? Maybe finding a slightly longer exhale to bring even more calmness to the body. Finally, checking in with your mind. How is the mind feeling? There's no right or wrong answer, just checking in, just noticing. Were you able to find that sense of playfulness and fun, or is that something that you can still carry on working on in future yoga practices? Enjoy some moments in silence now. If the mind wanders, that is absolutely fine. But if you do notice it wandering, you might just gently guide it back to the present moment by bringing your awareness back to the sensations in the body, back to the movement of the breath, back to the feeling of the earth beneath you. If you would like to stay in Shavasana for longer, that is always encouraged by me. If you are ready to move on, start to bring some gentle movement back to the body, as if you've just woken up on a morning and you're just wiggling the fingers and toes, stretching the arms and the legs. And then slowly, gently make your way back up to a seated position. Just take one final moment to pause and feel gratitude for your body, for moving you through this practice, for your heart, for moving the blood throughout your body, for your lungs, moving the air throughout the body, for the fact that you have the air to breathe, for the space that you have to move in, for the room that you have to move in, the fact that you have internet access to access yoga videos. Grateful for yourself for choosing to put this time for doing something special for yourself. Grateful to all the teachers that came before me for passing on their wisdom so that we could be here practicing yoga today. Today, may you think peaceful thoughts, may you speak peaceful words, and may you feel peace in your heart. Wishing you a wonderful day, and hopefully I will be practicing yoga with you again soon. Like I said at the start, if you could take a second to subscribe, I would be very grateful. Leave a comment letting me know what you thought, and like this video so I know to make more like it. Sending you lots of love.